Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. I don't know, hosted by me, Sana, and
Jackie. Hello.
hello. We are joined by my beautiful friend, Urooj. Say hello to the people.
Hi, guys.
Say hi to all 5 listeners. We're very excited that you're here.
Yes, so excited to be that you're here.
No, but yeah, welcome back, though. Yay.
Welcome back. She's never been.
Yes,
It's the first time.
Yes. What are you talking about?
You know what? I think I'm getting confused because we had dinner. So I'm like... Because we all had dinner together at
LA.
I don't know why I thought you've been here before. I'm getting everyone brown confused.
I was like,
damn, girl, that's a little racist.
Yeah.
I'm brown.
She's like, all you and your friends look the same.
Maybe because our dinner was kind of like the podcast where we were talking about everything.
We were, yeah, that's very true.
That was a while ago.
Welcome.
You
were supposed to be a guest at some point, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Yeah, she's here now.
I thought she was supposed to be here beforehand, and then it just didn't work out or something.
You know what?
I don't know.
Go to sleep.
Well,
Go back to sleep.
I'm so sorry I couldn't be here today.
Yeah. I mean, she's from New York. She's a new LA resident.
Yes.
We met at a wedding last year, my cousin's wedding, and we hit it off, and we've been hanging out ever since.
Yeah, Sana hit on me at the after party.
Yeah, at the after party. It's been a short romance, but an exciting romance. So
Very fun and flirty.
We met in August.
Flirty.
She moved out here in November. The rest is history.
Mm-hmm. There it is. That's the love story.
That's love. I mean, I helped her move. There's no greater love story.
There's no greater love story than helping
Yeah.
somebody move or picking up and dropping off at the airport.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, especially like LAX, where it's pretty, not like some regional airport. Like, don't think you're doing me a favor by dropping me off at SNA.
Yeah,
like,
that's the easiest.
That's like in and out.
That's Orange County
It's
airport.
funny
right?
because I was there last night dropping off a friend.
At SNA?
No, at LAX.
Oh, okay.
And
I was going to say, you didn't do them a
takes
favor.
me 15 minutes to get there, but you're sitting in 15 more minutes
Yes.
or more.
Or more.
Just airport traffic.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She lives in Marina, so she's really close.
Yes,
literally
you're
right
really
there.
close. No,
Yeah.
Pilot lives in Marina, and so super. Don't worry about it.
I remember Pilot.
Oh yes, you do remember the
We
Pilot.
don't want to remember him. Unfortunately, he's a gift that keeps coming.
He's like genital herpes. There's always an outbreak. So, no, but yeah, no, you're sitting in like 15, 20 minutes, if not longer, depending. And it's
Just to get to the...
Yeah.
I've never had it that bad.
I think it's because I always leave. I always take like red eyes. I really like taking red eye flights.
I don't think there's only been a few times I've had it like, oh my God, I might miss my flight because it's taking so long.
I've never missed my flight.
I've never
because
missed my
I'm a
flight either.
psychopath. I'm the airport dad that gets there. It's like if our flight leaves at like 2 p.m., I'm like at 6 a.m., I'm like, everybody up, like let's go.
You know why? Because you don't have pre-check.
I'm the lazy one.
I don't have TSA pre-check.
You have TSA.
It's just like
it takes 5 minutes.
Yeah, I do need to get a TSA pre-check.
I don't actually want to announce this on here because I don't need more people in TSA. So actually stay in your normal line because I need to be able to get there late.
Yeah, one time I was running late and security was longer, so that's when I signed up for the free clear from the guy was like, "Do you want to?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on, let's do it. Come on, scan my retina, let's go." I'm about to miss my flight.
No, the TSA pre-check is kind of crazy because I have global entry, and when I came back from France, which they've had these machines for a while, I'm in the airport in all different conditions. Sometimes I'm cute, sometimes I'm like a super hot mess. Sometimes there's glasses. Sometimes they're contacts.
Yeah.
So you just never know what you're gonna get. The hair might be curly, might be straight. I don't know. That thing detects your face every time.
Well,
it's
of course.
crazy
How would it
though.
Not?
It's like even with glasses, it's crazy. Well, actually, I think I have to take off my glasses. But it's like pretty. No, I think it's pretty.
You act as if you look deformed.
Not
when you're not like made
but
up.
I'm just saying it's a lot of versions and it knows every
so
time.
Dramatic.
Every time, and I think it's pretty impressive. Okay.
We need that in the dating world, one of those machines. Just put it up against the guy. What version of you am I getting today?
Catfish, you just hold it up. You're like, no, it's confirmed. I guess this is you.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
So interesting. All right.
It's like, which personality am I getting today?
Yeah. Right. My God, that'd be great.
Yeah, but anyways, let's get into it. What did you do this weekend? Urooj, you start.
That's for you, Urooj.
So I ate a lot this weekend. I had a very chill weekend.
Love that.
Took a plunge into the hot tub, went out to WeHo,
Nice.
Yeah.
got some food, some sun.
We had some good weather.
Yeah, it's kind of gloomy out in Marina a lot.
Yeah, it's been gloomy because I was in Santa Monica and it's gloomy, but it is not gloomy in Orange County.
Yeah, I went to Elefante on Friday. I had my favorite pasta. You know,
rigatoni, vodka.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
It is good.
Whipped eggplant. I can't.
Oh, the whipped eggplant.
I literally thought it was hummus the entire time.
No,
I was eating it.
It doesn't taste like hummus.
It literally tastes and looks like hummus.
Elefante is like my jam.
It is. It's always a good time. The food just hits.
Yeah. And it is good.
Yeah, so did a little bit of that. Saturday had some steak, went out to catch steak.
Okay.
Good steakhouse.
I've never been.
It was a nice vibe.
I obviously have never been.
Yeah, obviously.
So the New York version of it is very loud. Yeah. You can't even like hear the person in front of you. The one here is nicer. It's like dim, chill.
Probably because
I think the food was better here.
Is it near the other catch? Is it in WeHo?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right next to Melrose Place.
I feel like New York steakhouses are like, those are the spots. Whereas in LA, they can be, but like not. Like it's still very quiet. Like if you walk into Mastro's, like it's not like it's like.
How is Mastro's? I was trying to like compare and contrast, but I don't know.
Well, Mastro's is not trendy. I think it's like a lot of older people.
Yeah.
It's a classy
It's a classic steakhouse.
But I hear their steaks like I've been there before, but I don't really like go crazy over steak. But like people who do, they'll be like, it's just average.
Yeah, I don't remember like it being amazing. Like
again, don't ask me.
Yeah, well, it's not Asana. No, yeah, I go crazy over a good steak.
Okay,
that's me.
So
that's
catch
like one
steak,
of my
truffle butter.
Truffle butter.
Oh my god,
that sounds really good.
I almost
literally
finished
one of my
the whole
favorite meals
thing.
Is like steak frites. So like steak and French fries.
Yes,
like just
you have
done.
to try it.
Okay, she's like almost finished the whole thing. I never not finished the whole thing.
I can never finish anything.
Mine's like opposite.
For me, it's a big deal.
No, literally, me and Aisha, like we'll get into my weekend, but like we went out on Friday to sushi, and I was with Anisha, and she like ate like 2 bites, and we ordered like 4 or 5 rolls. Like they were all vegan, but like me and Aisha were like, no, every single one needs to be finished. We're like tanks. We just eat it.
No, I'm always like, oh, I didn't order the kids version. Oh, this is the adults. All right, well, I guess so. Yeah. Like that's me.
No,
like,
it works great because me and her, we go out to, like we don't leave anything behind.
Yeah.
We both we gotta eat it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. No, that sounds fun though.
Yeah,
it's a good weekend.
Nice. So I definitely gained like 10 pounds. But
I mean, you were like one of my smallest friends, so I don't want to hear about you gaining 10 pounds.
Let's not talk about that.
I feel like a giant next to her, like height, size, everything.
Then how many inches do you have on me?
I'm 5'6".
Okay.
You're like 5.
I'm like 5'1" on a good day.
Yeah,
right.
It's a big difference.
I know. I'm 5'7". I'm standing next to you, and I'm like Godzilla. Like,
I feel like that next to her. I'm like, I'm like, wow.
It's okay. You guys can toss me around.
I guess this is why. This is why girls like. I don't know, a tall guy. I don't know. It's
No, see, I think about your height, and I'm like, how wonderful, because you can just wear all the heights of heels, and you can date anybody.
Any height.
That's
like,
true.
A guy my height is huge for her still.
Yeah.
But the guys that are like 5'7" and below are just not as desirable.
Which
so
is
it makes
funny
me
because
feel
why
like,
do you need,
am I doing something wrong by going for one of those?
12 inches more? Okay, that's another topic that I want to quickly get into it.
I'm also going to
because when you're 5 foot, why do you need a 6 foot? That is too big to me.
It's not need. It's more desirable, right?
Like you have to like stretch your neck to even kiss. Like you have to like get on your tippy toes.
They have to pick you up.
He has to come all the way down.
What is his excuse?
True, but like he's getting a neck sore. Like
see, my problem is more just like I have a bone to pick with all of you. Like 5'7". Your max is 5'7".
Yeah, you know what? Because leave it for us. Yeah,
that is true.
That is true. You don't deserve it.
Don't come into my arena or stay in your lane. Or
I'll cap myself out at 5'7".
Yeah, 5'7". That's what you have to cap.
That's a good point because I can't do a 5'7".
I can't do a 5'7".
That's not going to work for me.
What am I going to do? Never wear heels again?
You can wear heels as long as the guy's like comfortable knowing that his woman is going to be.
But I'm not comfortable.
I'm never comfortable.
I'm not comfortable. There's a difference. So you're back. You're done.
Just kidding.
5'7".
You know what's an interesting question I got asked this weekend though, is what do you go for? What's more important to you, height or face?
You and I talked. I think we talked about that too.
Somebody asked.
I said I would rather have a tall, medium, ugly, and you said you'd rather have a short, hot guy.
Oh,
you did say that.
Yeah.
Oh, tall, medium, ugly. Yeah, I would do tall, medium, ugly. Well, I'm a face. I'm a face person. I'm a face girl.
I have to be able to just stare into your eyes all day.
But I would also feel very unattractive at a guy at 5'6".
Yes.
Like, it wouldn't be sexy.
Yes.
What if he had like the hottest face ever?
It just wouldn't,
body too.
It wouldn't feel sexy to me. It would feel like...
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
I would rather have a medium ugly guy that's like decent, but tall.
But then when you see a short girl with like her short king, you think it's cute?
No.
I
don't. I think there needs to be a height difference.
You're limiting me.
Oh, no. I think it's fine.
You said short king, so it's going to be two shorties.
Yeah.
But if there's a difference, I'm not saying like you with like a 5...
I'm not going to be with the 5'0".
Yeah. But for you, like a short king is a tall king.
For me, a short king is 5'7".
That is a tall king for you.
5'5". He's got 5 inches on you. That is a tall king for you.
For me, that's not.
You can wear 4-inch heels and still have an inch difference.
Yeah.
That's true.
Damn.
That is a tall... Yeah, my tall king...
Do they make them shorter than 5'7"? I don't even know.
I mean,
I've seen a lot of 5'6" out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean if he says he's 6 foot? He's 5'8".
Yeah.
If he says he's something, he's 5'8".
There's always an inch.
Yeah.
Like these Hinge profiles be like
5'11". That's my favorite.
It's kind of like, you know how you can lie on your driver's license?
I was looking at my cousin's profile over the weekend, and it said 6. And I was like, you're like 5'10", 5'11" at best. He's like, with shoes 6. And I'm like...
No.
With shoes.
Like, no, absolutely not. Like, that's a lie. Yeah. Men are always going to come out to come after girls about like catfishing and like, show your whole body. It's like,
are you kidding me?
Then show your true height.
I've been catfished.
You know what though? When it is true is when it's 6'2" and above.
Yes,
it's true.
That's 6'2" and above, always true. Yeah, always true. But under, nope. If they say 6, you're 5'10".
Yeah,
100%
6 is a golden. Even
6'1"
6'1" and above, I'll give you.
Yes,
but 6 is that one that you never trust.
Nope. Never trust a 6.
Yeah. I'm going to start carrying measuring tapes.
I know you should.
Yeah.
Bring your inch tape.
Yeah. If I look like my picture, you better be your height.
Yep.
Fair or your weight, or have as much hair on your head as
hair.
Yes, the hair. Yeah.
They post the old pics.
That's a big thing.
The old pics,
They post the old pics. Good point.
Or before the dad bod.
Yep.
See, I don't mind a dad bod. I'm fine with that.
But don't advertise a not dad bod.
Don't advertise.
You have one before.
But that's my thing, is don't advertise that you have a 6-pack because that was you 25 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
like, or 15 or 10.
But I think the hair is the same thing though.
False advertising.
The hair, a lot of guys will post old pics with hair, and then you meet them and you're like, where'd the hairline go?
Yeah.
And then they blame it on age or stress or work.
But that's the thing.
Go to Turkey.
Don't come at me for wearing makeup.
First, go to Turkey, get your hair transplanted.
Yeah, get your hair transplanted.
Look like that picture again, and then come see me.
Yeah. No, just don't lie about it. That's my whole thing. Guy or girl, don't lie about it. Just always, like me, like dating, like as a plus size girl, like I always make sure, like when I was on the apps, like I had full body pics, like, and I always said like that I was, curvier. I was, like, I think it's like asks your body type. Yeah. And I remember, I think I sent it to people and I was like, to my friends, and I was like, is this an accurate representation of me? Like, am I catfishing? And they were like, no, like you look like you, basically. Yeah. And I always made sure. Because it's like, I'm not going to get to a date.
It's also embarrassing for, I feel like if I went to a date and somebody was like, hey, you like.
Yeah.
That's like,
who are you?
That's embarrassing for the person too, I feel. Like,
no, totally.
I also don't understand that concept because it's like they're eventually going to see you in real life. Unless you're so delusional that you think that's how you look, which could be.
I mean, but then you shouldn't even be on a dating app.
Well, I have heard from my guy friends their experience with women and their filters and the makeup and they're like,
I'm sure it happens.
Like face-wise, like nothing like the. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to understand. It's your fault for not FaceTiming her before planning this date
and
out.
I think as women, we can look at a girl's profile and be like, oh, she's not going to look at that in person, or if she is going to look like that in person.
Yeah.
We know.
We know.
Yeah. No, I was just having this conversation, actually, with the pilot.
Stop it!
No, but he was saying something, and I'm like, you don't understand makeup. I was like, you don't understand makeup, you don't understand lighting, you don't understand angles. I was like, do yourself a favor. Why don't you go onto YouTube, go look up some makeup tutorial videos, and you go look and see what women can do with makeup. And if you really want to be tripped out, go see those makeup artists that like transform their face into celebrities. I was like, what you can do with makeup is insane. Yeah. I was like, it's insane. insane. I was like, so no, it's not
true.
filters. It's not any of that. It's light. It's setting powder. It's
Well, filters play a role too.
And they do, but when men always are always like, oh, you filtered it. It's like, also, no, it's lighting. It's angles. It's, I know how to do my makeup well, or I have good skin. Like, it's not a filter. So yeah, we were having this whole conversation.
I mean, I think a lot of times it is a filter on. They have the Paris filter. They have Facetune. There's things on.
Oh, of course. But
I use a Paris filter all the time on my stories.
Yeah.
Smooth that out.
Smooth that out.
But yeah. Anyways, let's back on track. What happened to your weekend?
My weekend? Oh, God. Very inconsequential. Like nothing happened. Okay. I had gone to San Francisco for work and then came back on Friday and I was just like dead. I don't know what happened. Those quick turnaround trips for work always get you. And so I think I was just like done for the weekend. I went over to my parents' house on Saturday. I was helping my dad with some stuff and then church on Sunday and literally was like on my couch the entire time.
I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
You're tired.
Yeah, I was tired.
R&R.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. So yeah, nothing exciting. What about you?
Very eventful weekend. A lot has happened.
Ooh.
So let's start during the week. Wednesday, for my single ladies out there, I did go to Elefante. We're Elefante hoes right here, clearly.
Yeah.
I went to Elefante on Wednesday. A ton of good-looking men hanging out on a Wednesday night.
We told you, start the summer series of where to go.
So funny enough, I told Urooj this, and she went on Thursday, and it wasn't as much of a hit. So maybe Wednesday night, there were some gorgeous men.
Yeah.
And
check it out.
As I was eating whipped eggplant, I was like, ooh.
Delicious and delicious.
Delicious and delicious. So that was fun. And then Friday, there's a vegan full cocktail bar in West Hollywood. Yeah. So it's a full on bar with, most alcohol is vegan anyways, but they don't have dairy in the drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, but on top of that, what's cool is they have a full plant-based menu.
That's really cool.
So it's a vegan bar with vegan food. Really cool. We checked it out in West Hollywood. Had a great time.
What's the name?
It's called APB, All Plant Bar.
Oh, cute.
So
got it.
They opened up a plant-based place in Marina too. Planta.
I want to go.
So beautiful.
I want to go. We should go.
So nice. Let's go.
Yeah, let's add that to the book. So I did that on Friday. And then Saturday, I went out to Santa Monica with my brother and my cousins. And that was like a whole ordeal. Someone stole my phone. So I had to go and buy a new phone on Sunday morning. The drama. So I got my phone stolen.
Where?
It was... we started. Okay, the night. This is a story.
Confess.
This is embarrassing. Okay, so we started at the bungalow, which I haven't been there in a really long time. Bungalow.
How is it now?
Bungalow's fun. It's you pop in.
Bungalow's bungalow.
No, but they sound like a lot of these places they do feel really young. Mm-hmm. But bungalow's hit or miss. Sometimes you do get the older guys. It just depends. We started at the bungalow, then we went to Elefante again, which is me. So second time Elefante in the week. And
getting those punches in the punch
it's
car.
walking distance. You gotta just do it.
Yeah. So we went to Elefante after. And then something we heard of, like, I've been to the Victorian once in my life, and the Victorian's like, it's fun, but it's very young and it's chaotic.
So do you remember when we ended up there?
Yeah, that was the one time I went with you.
One time you went.
Oh my God, I was with you. The one time I went was with you. It was fun, but it was chaotic.
It was. It's a lot.
We were together. I forgot.
It's a lot.
So then my cousin,
it's a young crowd.
He's like, what's the Victorian? And he was drunk. He's like, let's go to the Victorian. I was like, it's like the bungalow on crack.
Yeah.
Bungalow on crack.
Yeah. Mixed with frat party.
Well, yeah.
It's the daycare bungalow, basically.
Yeah.
Because you just have these children.
With multiple levels.
It's just,
It's big. So we go there. The phone is in my front jean pocket. And I never wear jeans. And I never have my phone in my pocket.
You never wear jeans.
And I rarely do. And I rarely have my phone in my pocket. And I responded to a text and I put it back in my pocket. But girls' pockets, they're not as deep. So you can see like a few inches of the phone out. Mm-hmm. And you saw how crowded it was when we went. So someone must have bumped into me, just swiped it.
Dang.
And then I noticed my phone was gone and they turned it off. So I could not.
That's the worst.
Because I went to my cousin's, I went to his phone and I was like looking for my iPhone, off already. So I was devastated. I was like, damn, like, it was a fun night. So I was like, what a bummer. It became such an expensive night all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, yeah.
So then I stayed at my cousin's condo, and it was so funny because the next morning I was like, I have a rental car right now, so I don't have GPS because my car's in the shop, and then I don't have a phone. I was like, hey, you're gonna need to write me directions. I don't know how to get home. Like, you don't realize like how much you rely on your phone.
Yeah, how much we rely on technology.
And technology, like, I don't know. I really did not know how to. I was like, which freeway do I take? Where is it? And so that happened on Saturday. Then Sunday, when I got back home, it was like getting the new phone, figuring out my life again. I only had 4 hours of sleep. Like, it was. You know, I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m. the next day. Then I woke up at 7:30 to make my life together again. And then bought a phone, had a work appointment, and then I had a date at night. So it was just...
It was a day.
Tell us about the date.
It was a day.
Yeah, we're like, that's great. So tell us about the date.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So then I went back to West Hollywood. So yesterday was coming home from Santa Monica, going to my house, going to Diamond Bar, coming back to my house, then West Hollywood.
Damn, girl.
And then I taught Legree at 6 a.m. today. So I went to bed at 1 last night, and I woke up at 5. So it's been a weekend.
It's been a few
Very
days.
fun, but it's been a long... I took a 2-hour nap today.
Yeah, okay, no one cares. How was your date?
Day was good. It was fun. It was the second time I met up with him. You know, we'll see what's to come. You know, he wants me to talk about him on here, so we're not going to do that. You have to earn the spot here.
You have to earn the spot.
Or you have to do something bad.
Yes. That's why, because we talked about the dummy when we went out that night. That's why I feel like she was on here.
Oh, the dummy that was like, hey, do you have a podcast?
Yeah,
that came,
listener, if you remember, Urooj was the one.
With the text,
with the Insta DM.
Oh my God. If you guys know the DM we talked about, where it's like
DM.
The infamous DM. It was...
Yes, it was because the three of us had gone out.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We experienced... the podcast in real life, which would be just living.
That funny DM that said that.
Funny DM that said, you know, I don't know why you like rejected me. Like, I thought we were having a good time.
Yeah.
What was his famous line? I forget. He said something real.
It was really boring.
Yeah,
you're dancing with your friend.
That's what he said. He said it was really boring when you were dancing with your friends.
Sorry, I'm not here for your entertainment.
Yes,
sir.
it was really boring. Yeah. Anyway, listener, if you don't know what we're talking about, go back a few episodes. That's why. That's why I thought you were here.
Yeah.
So a few weeks back, Memorial Day weekend, I had my friends in town. We go to Casa Madeira. Okay. Lo and behold, he's standing there with another girl, like at the valet. I look at him, he looks at me, and he's just like. And I took a picture. I sent it to Sana. I'm like, "Is this that guy?"
Oh my god!
Like, oh my god! Yes.
Oh my! He's a creep. He's a creep.
Yeah.
That DM was that made 2 episodes, and I had a lot of people be like, "Oh my god!" about this DM.
Yes. Yeah.
But fun for Casa Madeira, my ladies, is also a good spot. Casa Madeira is really fun.
I've been wanting to go. That's
food is alright in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really like their brunch food. Better than their dinner food.
But another spot where there's a lot of men crawling through
with hats, dressed all sophisticated.
It's a trendy spot. Like, I would go back again.
Interesting.
I think it's also a good spot for a date. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. But yes, this is why. Speaking of dates, this is why. It's because we had talked about the whole thing. Your story was on here before you were. But anyway, but getting back to the date, perfect segue. Perfect. Because this is because you were, as everyone knows, Sana was like dating, and then now
I was on Hinge and then this is how I like to call him. I got a referral, so that's my phrase for it. I got a referral, aka a setup, but I call them referrals. So this guy is a referral, and you know he wasn't an app guy, so we were like, right, let's give it a go.
Yeah. So how's it been?
It's been good. We went out twice. What I like now is the way I date is like I go in with zero expectations.
Love that.
And I don't go in with like heavy conversations prior to meeting. Because then I think the heavy conversations makes you like develop this like connection without knowing the person, and then you meet them and you're like, dude, this doesn't translate. Or like, I thought you were going to be this way. And it's like, I don't know, emotionally you start to invest with, you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. So I keep it very light and then no expectations, and you don't get disappointed.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very true.
Because I used to get disappointed all the time.
Yeah. No, I think you touch on something kind of big is the everyone always kind of, because I feel like I follow a lot on Instagram, like dating coaches, and they talk about, and dating coaches are always kind of talking these women off the ledge about like how often they text or things of that nature. And these women are always kind of coming off, it's like, oh, well, this is a standard. Like this is the standard of communication that I have. And I think you bring up a good point of like expectations versus standards.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not really a standard, it's more of like an expectation you have. But if you put an expectation, that's putting the responsibility on someone else.
Yeah. Why don't we break down the difference? Because I think a lot of people confuse the two.
Well, I think a lot of women confuse the two.
It's not men, it's women.
Yeah, it's women. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Yeah. So standards, right? They're shared values, like
your own.
It's what you allow. It's kind of like the boundaries or what you're willing to accept in your life. Like if someone's going to give this to you, this is what you're willing to accept. So you like standards would be like, I want someone who's like trustworthy, who's kind, respectful, has integrity, shared values, morals, ethics, standards, all of that. Versus expectations are very subjective. They're constantly changing. And the main difference between the two is, again, standards are what you allow and your boundaries versus expectations is always what can that person bring to me? Like putting that responsibility on the other person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of again, going back to like the communication of like, well, like they'll say, oh, my standard. It's like, no, you're expecting them to communicate with you every single day in a specific way. And what if they don't have the time?
Yeah. And I think that's, another thing I've learned a lot too is like, I think we think like he has to be texting you all the time. And if he's not texting you all the time, that he's not interested. Yeah. And that's not true. Because I kind of enjoy a guy that is busy and not up my ass.
Yeah, has his own life.
Like if he's so excited about me so quickly, I'm like, dude, have you never dated a girl before? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It comes off too strong.
It comes off too strong where it's like, pushy. To me, it's like, oh, it's like more like intriguing. I'm like, wow, you're busy. You're taking time. It makes me want you more. Like versus like, if you're like always responding within like 2 minutes, I'm like.
Or like, I didn't even finish my thought and you're already typing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's unattractive. Take a step back, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning, it's like, we don't need to be so glued to each other.
Absolutely. Well, and it's also just that, like, you shouldn't be obsessed with me. Like, you don't know me.
You don't know me yet.
And if you are obsessed with somebody like that, like, that gives me pause. Like you said. Yeah. That gives me pause.
Well, I think it gives me pause now because I've been in so many situations like that.
Yeah, that's a question. Did it give you pause before?
No.
Now we get into
We're evolving.
Now we're in it, everyone. Let's talk about that.
It didn't give me pause because I even think about last year and for, our infamous little, who took up a good chunk of my last year.
Yeah.
It was instant.
Yeah.
From the night we met until we ended.
Yeah.
Even from the night we met until onwards, it was constant talking, communication, all of those things. I mean, our first date was 6 hours or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Our first date was not only 6 hours, but then we were on the phone when I was driving home on top of that. So it was like, I was talking to him till 6 a.m. and our date was at like,
I think it was 8 or something.
And I was on the phone with him till 6 a.m. Like, that's our first date. Like, that's too much. But as a woman, you're like, wow, like sparks are flying. Like, this is it. Like, we connect so well. I've never connected with somebody like this before.
Yes.
So then I get my judgments clouded.
Yes.
And then I had this really big issue of needing extreme chemistry early on. Because I'm so used to being really hot and heavy with guys initially, but they always burn up.
So you're not a slow burn type of girl.
With I'm learning to be a slow burn type of girl.
Yeah.
That's what I've really been working on this year, is being a slow burn type of girl.
Well, I think it's hard to get to that point of being a slow burn because I think everything in our society tells us that it's all about the initial spark and the chemistry, and you have to have the butterflies, and there has to be this rom-com Hollywood moment for it to mean something. And if it does, then it's right. I think that's the dangerous part. It truly, I really do. I think that's the older I get.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you two feel. And I'd love to know your opinion on it. Is the older I get, the more I kind of realize just how like really how fucked up the media has made kind of dating and or agree. Hollywood, how they really have super tainted women's viewpoints. I know for my own.
Right.
I would agree because just I think we spoke about this earlier, but just like you said that even though we say that we're not influenced by it.
Oh yeah.
We are.
Oh yeah. Because you always sit there and say like, I know life's not a movie, but there's always that but.
We secretly want it to be a movie.
Of course. But I think that does come with maturity because now I feel like in your 30s, you really start to sit back and reevaluate
100%.
Relationships as a whole. And it's like a high quality man knows that's not realistic.
Yes.
Knows how to respect your space too, and it doesn't have to be interview like at the first date to know that like, yeah, she ticks all my boxes or she answered all my questions correctly.
Yeah.
They let it simmer. They let it marinate.
Right. Yeah. And I'm working on it. This year has been, and I agree with you, I think it's maturity too, because I think before everybody wants that movie that we meet and it's fireworks and it's the meet cute and it's everything that's like, when people always say, when you know, you know.
But then it's like when things get
I kind of hate the when you know, you know.
When reality hits, it's crash and burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those situations.
Yeah. That's happened to me every time. When reality hits, it's you have to be a slow burn.
Yeah.
And I've learned that. You have to be because the hot and heavy, after a few months, it's bursts. It's
well, and that's I think I really love that you said maturity because that's a huge part of it. And I think when you start doing work on yourself and you start kind of especially as you get older and then you start kind of looking inward and at yourself and some what is it, like reviews basically, like self-assessment.
No, but introspection.
Yeah, introspection, true. Yes. Or when I know for myself, 37, like single, like not where I thought I would be romantically. So not that there has to be something wrong with me, I'm not saying that. But I did know that there's something I'm not doing. There's something hindering. There's a blockage. I just knew that there was. But I feel like if you start doing that, you start saying, okay, let me take a step back. Let me start looking. So you start learning that those butterflies and the sparks and the chemistry, everything that Hollywood tells you what should happen, and everything that you believed in your teens and 20s or that your friends say, and that's another one. Just because your friend's sister's cousin, got rescued, by her now husband, and that's how they met, or what? You're the rule. Everyone, you're the rule. You are not the exception. You're the rule. Just
everybody
like
thinks
just
you're the exception.
Get that tattooed,
I kind of hate
when
when the exceptions make it like
it's the rule.
It's the rule.
Yes, and they're like, well, this happened to me. It's like, yeah, but you're the goddamn exception. Like, stop acting as if that's going to happen to everyone.
No, it's true. I mean, it can happen, but
it can't. You know what? This is a difference between possible and probable. Yeah. And I remember learning this in high school mock trial. All right.
No,
we had to go up the whole mock trial. If you're not familiar, listeners, when you go and you actually run a whole like trial type of thing, and a lawyer taught us because we had like lawyer coaches that you never want to ask, is it possible to witness, because anything is possible. Yes. But is it probable? That is totally different.
That is right. That is the key difference.
So start asking yourself that, everyone. Anything's possible. Of course, anything is possible. But is it probable?
Yeah.
No.
No, totally. But it's so true though. And that's like maturity. That's something I've really learned since I've been single and all that of the slow burn. And I know I made some mistakes last year, but
live and learn.
Do you also think it also comes down to love bombing?
I don't know. So like with my ex, I don't think I was love bombed, but it did start very like
hot and heavy.
Well, and
too emotional, too quick. Like seeing each other constantly. Like
I remember you guys would go grocery shopping together.
We would go to the gym together. Yes. Everything was like
connected.
From right away. Not just like it was like within like the week we were like doing it was like that all the time. And then the conversations, again, long dates. Right. Like sitting in the car talking. So Not that one blew up. I mean, it
didn't blow up because that wasn't who he was, but it's kind of that's where you get your thrill, it seems like.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't mean to speak for you, even though I am. So I didn't say this, but she's probably thinking it. Yeah. No, but my therapist recently told me, we were talking through some stuff, and she, like, full transparency, whenever I get hit on by someone who is attached, by a man who's attached, engaged, married, whatever, I take it as a challenge. And I was talking to her about it, and I was like, why do I not get the ick? Like, again, it wouldn't be somebody that I'd want to be with. That wouldn't be like, oh, my challenge is now to get them to come to me. That's not it. I take it as a challenge of like, oh, I clearly have something that your significant other doesn't have. Let me play on that. And my therapist said, and I was like, what's wrong with me? I was like, because that's really disturbing to me that I'm not like, ew, get away from me. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself, start scolding this dude. And she said, well, relax, like nothing's wrong with you. She's like, that's just kind of you like a thrill. She's like, why do people skydive? Why do people race cars? Why do people like to go fast? Why do people like to bungee jump? It's a thrill. You're seeking the thrill in the wrong way.
Yeah, I could agree. The excitement and thrill of like the chemistry of
like,
being.
Oh, I got it like that.
Yeah. Well, just so exciting where it's like you're just so like enamored with each other, but it's not what I want.
Exactly. Just like with me, it's like obviously this wouldn't be somebody that I want, and I actually do think your behavior's fucked up, but I'm still engaging with it, you know? But she said, like, you need to find a different way to get the thrill. And I think that's what people, or as women, we don't recognize that the butterflies and the chase or the spark, you need to figure out a different way to get a thrill right within the relationship. So maybe you guys go do things together, together that make it a thrill, but not initially. And that also is not the indicator of a healthy relationship or if it's going to be right or if it's going to be right.
Yeah, because before in the past, if I felt like there wasn't sparks or chemistry on the first date, I wouldn't go on a second.
Yeah.
Versus now, I'm much more open to being like, well, maybe the first was off. Maybe let's just see if he's a good person. Let's just give it another go.
Yeah.
Not like force myself, but like give it another. I think one date is not a fair shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless it's like really bad.
Yeah.
I think it's just also getting it through your head kind of that like that thrill is temporary, right?
Yeah.
Because the minute you start going through real life problems, adversity, calamities with each other, that's when you really learn about who really is he.
Yes.
How does he respond and react to things?
Right.
How do I? Does that align with how he does?
Right.
And that's like the biggest thing nowadays that gets relationships to that next level and like the longevity.
Yes. Well, it's intimacy. And that's what is not taught enough, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Is intimacy. The chemistry, like, yes, you want to have mutual attraction. Like, yes, you do want to be with this person physically and be attracted to them. And, there be, some of that want and desire. But intimacy is a whole different thing. And intimacy does not happen overnight. Intimacy takes time to build, and that's that slow burn. You start getting to know them, and then you kind of start getting that thrill. Then you start getting that like, I'm really excited to see this person, or like, oh my God, I can't wait, I can't wait to go on a date with this guy again, But it's that intimacy, but also the intimacy is what's foundational, because should this go a distance or the distance or whatever, however we want it to go, you need that intimacy. Like you said, if you don't have that, and then, shit hits the fan, and you don't know how to talk to each other.
Exactly.
You don't know how to function with one another.
Yeah, and the slow burn just creates a better foundation.
Absolutely. It builds intimacy. This is what Hollywood doesn't show you, y'all. Who's going to sit through a 5-hour movie,
True.
To watch. But, always, it's fake. That's the whole thing, is the whole kid. But that's amazing that you're learning that, though. This is very exciting.
Thank you. You live and you learn. Growth. This year's been growth. I think dating-wise, this year's been growth.
Yeah.
I would say since January
Yeah.
But I've also not really always put myself out there. I've kind of been both. Kind of have and kind of haven't.
You have and you haven't, yeah.
Yeah, but the ones I have, they have been...
Right. Yeah.
Like that.
No, that makes sense. Now I want to kind of get back to what you had said about like the crashing and burning and all this different stuff. So have you dealt with that like at all? Like, because you were like, when shit hits the fan. And the way you said it, I was like, we had our fair share.
I mean, it kind of brings me to this point where it's kind of like my background was I'm from New York City, right? So the guys that I've dated in New York had a very similar persona, right? They're all acts of service, but when it comes down to real life situations where it's like hardships and this and that, they kind of, they're quick to get mean. They're quick to get rude and toxic. But they'll always ride for you. Like, they'll always chase after you. They'll always come running back to make sure, I messed up and how can we fix this and how can we make it right? But, so I moved to LA for love. It didn't quite work out for me, but that was,
you did it, but it's good you took the lead.
Huge, to move cross country.
Exactly. So, you put all your eggs in one basket and you're just like, this is it for me. And, it was a long distance relationship, but it was more of a hot and heavy in the beginning. Everything was just perfect. Like, we hadn't gone through anything. So it was just, coming out of a toxic relationship prior to that, this was like a breath of fresh air. I'm like, this guy doesn't even curse, let alone like get angry. Yeah. So patient, so calm. But, over time I learned that that's just the LA way. Men here are very passive. They won't want to put up the fight. They'll be like, you know what?
There are a lot of passive guys out here. You make it
passive is the perfect word. They're they're the type that would just break up with you over a text message and be like, it's all good, we're so cool.
They're passive.
Question for you: Do you feel like well, I mean, we'll get more into this, but that just leads me to ghosting. Do you feel like New York guys like really ghost, or is that more of like an LA thing, or does it not really matter?
I think New York guys are more. They're better at like expressing verbally what exactly is going on. So they're very upfront, right? And LA guys will beat around the bush. They'll try to avoid any kind of like uncomfortable interaction, I guess I can say. But New York guys will just let it all out. Well, whatever.
Do you feel like
take whatever you want out of it? But as women, we tend to appreciate that more because we're not just like left in the dark, we've received, whether it's a good or bad explanation of what's going on, it's there. Yes. He gave me the respect.
Yes.
To just like closure. Let me know.
Yeah, closure's great.
We love closure.
And then
well, back to long distance. Do you feel like because it was long distance, you never really truly knew who he was?
That could be it. Because, when you're...
Everyone's on their best behavior for 10 days.
Yes, I have a theory.
A week,
I have a
10
theory
days,
about that,
when you're seeing each other, you just know that you have to be on your best behavior. It's like... And it's also like a vacation for them. Yeah. In a way, where it would be a vacation for me if I'm here. But we didn't really... I didn't really get to know who he's around his friends, who he's around his family. There's different versions of a man that you need to explore and see before you get super serious with somebody, right? And... this was something that it was just one of those things where it's like he wanted to get serious right off the jump. And I was like, you know what? Like, if he wants to spend the rest of his life with me, and...
Yeah, how did you... Like, okay, so how did you feel about that in the moment? And then how do you feel about that, like, looking back now?
In the moment, I was flattered, right? I was very...
And it was different.
It was the era of fuckboys.
Yeah.
It really was.
It was different. He was giving you everything you thought you wanted.
Yeah, and having dealt with what I dealt with in the New York world, I was kind of like, okay, this guy's not toxic. For me, the biggest thing was like the toxicity. And it's like, you can kind of like, after having gone through that for years, you can pick up on it immediately. And I didn't. No toxic vibes. But the problem is you don't get to know that person's family. You don't get to know that person's group of friends.
Right.
Who they hang out with makes up a majority of who they are as a person, And men will always say this about women. You are who your friends are.
Right. Yeah.
Or whoever you spend time with.
You have to be a hoe.
Yeah, exactly. And so that whole concept, I didn't really get to explore that. I kind of was just... But now looking back, I think that 6 months can be a good, mature, wealthy amount of time to get to know somebody if you're doing it right. So with us, it was just like... one weekend here, the next month, another weekend. And then it's just like a lot of planning goes into it. And then it's like the parents meeting, planning a wedding. Like it's just all our attention was devoted to other things very early on to in our relationship.
Fully focused on the relationship and developing.
Exactly. And, during that time period, there were no fights. There's nothing to fight about in the first 6 months.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Also, when you're not seeing each other that frequently.
Exactly. And it's like, I probably never cried during those times. He probably never had any meltdowns with work. Like, the things that women and men get passionate over.
Right.
That could spark an argument or spark a fight. And we never tackled any of that before me moving out here. So once I was here, it was like I received a complete different version of him. So now when I was going back to when I was saying, what version of you am I getting today, right? That's something I noticed here is that, guys don't even I don't think they even put effort into their appearance on a first date. Like, it's like they'll pull up with a t-shirt with a random sideways oval.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you'll get a nice pair of Nikes.
Right.
I haven't experienced that a lot, though. I haven't experienced guys looking like shit on dates.
No?
But
effortless. Not shitty, but effortless.
Question, though. Do you... Well, because you predominantly date within your culture.
So does she.
Do you predominantly still?
I do.
And you still feel like there's just this
here,
kind of lackadaisical.
Very lackadaisical. Very nonchalant here.
But even the guys I've dated outside I don't think they've ever, I've only gone out on a date, this was years ago. I only did on a date with one guy that showed up in sweats. And this was when I was 24.
I went on a date with one guy and he showed up with a backpack because I found out he didn't have a car.
Oh.
Well. Changing in the bathroom, he doesn't have a house either. But
he was homeless, everyone.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I haven't experienced that, but interesting. I know what our dress sense is more relaxed these days.
More relaxed, yeah.
I mean, we're in the generation where we are seeing sneakers at the club as females.
That's very true.
And we were breaking our backs in stilettos
Madden,
or the platforms, everything when we were in our prime going to the club. Nobody was wearing sneakers at the club.
Oh God, no.
But LA, they wear sneakers at the club. It's more weird to not wear sneakers at the club now.
Yeah. I don't, which I hate.
It's so funny.
It's
more comfortable.
It is more comfortable,
for us.
LA's just become more relaxed in certain things.
Well, yeah, it's just a very casual, or just casual in general.
But so casual that you'll just gracefully just let go and be floating through life in La La Land. Yeah. Very fluid, and I didn't experience that in New York. We're very more, maybe it's
formal.
Because of the hustle in New York City, the intensity. We're very
the guys are smarter
structured, more structured. You need more structure in your life. Can't keep 9 girls in rotation because boom, I have to respond to this, I have to do this, I have to do that. I think we have a routine.
They're more driven. They're more career oriented in New York. 100% than LA. LA, a lot of these guys are trying to make it big. A lot of them are social media.
Area.
I feel like there's a lot of slashes in LA, actor / server, designer / Target employee. Yeah. You know what I mean? And whereas New York, they're no, I'm this.
They're very career
this is what I am. Yeah. I'm this.
Yes.
Whatever it is, they own
They're
it.
They're more career driven.
LA is a slash world.
That's a great point. It is a slash world.
It's a slash world. I'm a barista /
inspiring
model.
actor.
Yeah,
or something.
But
you know what I noticed? The slash between New York and LA. It's when you think about the 5 love languages, right? Mm-hmm. LA to me is all words of affirmation, right?
Yes.
Men are really good at articulating their words.
Yes.
Whether they mean it or not, we find that out during season 3, episode 4.
Yeah.
Because by then you've seen all the mental health issues.
Yeah.
You've seen all the different versions.
Yeah.
You've seen all the different outfits. You've seen it all.
Well, men know how, they don't like to admit this, but men know how to bullshit. They know how to finesse. They know what a woman wants to hear because we're really not that complicated in what we want to hear. They know what to do.
But they don't really get mean here. They won't cross a line where it's name calling and disrespect. In New York, it's you'll get instead of the one big text, you'll get the boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, so you're right. I haven't run across
Yeah.
Mine is the guy that we met in LA that sent you the weird ass DM.
That was still one paragraph. It wasn't boom, boom, boom.
But that
boom,
still
boom,
also is not.
Yeah.
I don't find that normal out here. You're right.
I've never had that in my life.
Yeah, that was just abnormal.
That was great.
Well, yeah. What else would you say are the like, key differences now that you've dated both sides?
So New York is more acts of service.
Yes.
Okay.
They might not know how to put their words into like a nice formalized text messages to let you know how they're feeling about you. Their emotions might be all jumbled up in their head, but they'll show you through their actions. And you know what's so funny is I came across this video on Instagram or on TikTok or something. It was something about flat tire. How do people in New York handle it? They'll probably curse you out and be like, what the hell? Like, how could you do something so dumb? And how could you, like, not be, taking care of your car? But you know what? They'll stop. They'll help you. Make sure you're good to go. And that's it.
Yeah.
In LA, it's like, they'll approach you with kindness. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. I can't believe you're experiencing that. Hope it gets better for you. But they're on their way. They're not going to sit there and get dirty with,
Yeah,
that's
good
so
luck,
true.
though.
The loyalty is harder to find in LA.
Yeah.
This is like, it's just like the blanket term is like, or sentence is like, I'm so sorry you're dealing with that.
But I gotta go now.
It's like, thank you for your
I gotta
sorry.
go.
Well,
you
because
for your
I feel
apology,
like, yes, it's very much, I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. But there's no follow-up of like, how can I help? What can I do for you?
They don't want to.
Versus New
they don't
York,
want to be part of it.
They'd be like, that's fucked. And you brought it upon yourself, so this should be no surprise. But how can I help you?
Yeah, I'm gonna help you out.
That's always
come through. For
I feel like I always see that is that LA pretends to be nice, isn't nice. New York acts like they're not nice, but really is nice.
Yes,
like that's how.
So it's like kindness versus niceness, right?
Or
like,
fakeness.
Yes. We have in New York, we have that tough exterior, you know, but we're ride or die for our friends and our family and our significant other. But I feel like here it's more like, oh, you caused me a tiny little inconvenience. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but like I'm out.
Yeah,
I
would agree on that.
I'm going back to La La Land.
You also mentioned even like when it comes to like approaching that New York guys are more assertive and which LA guys are not.
No, so and I see this with like my friends, right? All my single friends here. We'll go out, and it's like it's just very different. The culture, like in New York, it's like if a guy sees a girl, he thinks she's pretty, he'll approach her, buy her a drink, send her a drink from across. Something like some kind of gesture to get her attention. Whether she takes it or not, that's on her. But he does his part. Here, I feel like men are just so like scared. I don't know if it's scared, but like the like, girls all here telling me like, "Oh, men are pussies out here." I was like, I mean, for lack of better word,
I don't know why guys like will stare at you dead ass.
They will.
For a long ass time.
Look into your soul,
but they won't. But they won't take the step
to look over they'll constantly look over at your table, look in your direction, but no action whatsoever.
Like you can't even come up to me and ask me my name, but you're gonna stare at me.
Funny, because we were out on Friday and like nobody really approached us, but then I went to Victorian, right, and I was with my brother and 3 guys. And guys came up to me. I don't know if it was because they're younger there. Hell, some guys came up to my brother asking who I was. So maybe the younger guys are more ballsy. I don't know.
Maybe. It could be the Gen Z versus millennials.
I've never. Oh my god! First of all, I was like, how do they even know I'm not dating any of these guys?
You know what I think it is? I think that like guys our age have gotten so tired of doing all that shit that they're like, I'm done.
That could be
I'm over it. If she wants to talk to me, I'll smile at her and she can walk up to me.
That's the thing. That's a lot of she can make the move. She can like.
But why?
Yeah, but to be honest, I feel like you touch on something kind of important. Is I feel like there's just been kind of this massive wave of men have given up on masculinity. They have absolutely just given up on being masculine.
Chivalrous.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't want to do it anymore. And they're tired.
Effort.
And yes, everything that comes with it. Being a gentleman, chivalry, effort.
It's like, how hard is it to plan a date?
Right.
A lot of them won't even make a reservation till the day of, and then it's like, oh, they're fully booked.
I mean, in LA too, like they would, if they live somewhere, they're like, oh, that's, if you're like, meet me in a different part of LA, they're like, that's too far.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like, I have like a 30-minute, like, I don't go anywhere past 30 minutes. Like, it's got to be in a 30-minute radius. You're like, excuse me? But it's true. I just feel like there has just been this massive Like they all collectively got together.
Yeah.
Alex, a friend of mine, we used to live together. We'd always say that they would get their newsletter like every 2 weeks and be like, "This is how we're gonna fuck with the girls today, men."
No, but I agree.
It would always happen at the same time.
Finding masculine men is really hard.
It's really hard, but I just feel and for whatever reason, and honestly, I would really love to know why. I mean, and I'm not asking in a, I'm not complaining. I'm just asking. Like, I truly am. I would love to know why as men, you've given up on truly being masculine in the dating scene, at least.
The only explanation that I could come up with in my head is that they're just tired of it. Like, they've done it all their 20s, and now in their 30s, they're like, I want to be the princess. I want to be taken out on a date.
Because, the problem is they were all fucking around in their 20s, and now that they want to be serious, they don't want to put in the effort. It makes no sense to me.
Exactly.
I also wonder if they don't even know how. Because it was
a different mentality before. They didn't want to settle down.
Yeah, they don't want. Yeah, and then now it's like, oh, I don't know how to actually
also now,
operate.
What I'm finding is like they don't want to date for long. They just want to lock it down. But it's like you don't want to put in the work. That's why.
Why would I lock it down with you?
I tick your boxes, but like, do you even know me?
Right.
Do you know all my personality traits?
You don't know what you're trying to. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's like, I'm ready to settle down.
It's the mid to late 30 guys that are quick to lock it down.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
It's not the early 30 guys. It's the mid to late.
You think?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't come across that many early 30 guys. I mean, that are like ready to lock it down.
Yeah. But
they think they're ready, but they're just not.
I feel maybe it's a Pakistani guy thing because I don't really date Pakistani guys, and I feel like culturally they try to lock it down quicker. The other side, Indian guys don't like that, and other races I don't feel like are like an.
I just feel
they're just like,
oh,
I'm 32, I'm 33, I'm done fucking around because I did that the whole decade of my 20s.
Because
now it's just,
culturally you're not supposed to date, so it's like.
But they also see that pool getting smaller of like pretty successful.
Well, I would say out of most races, like I feel you guys generally get married earlier.
Younger, yeah.
I say you guys, I mean partially me too, but like
half of you.
Half of me. But like younger. I think they get I think it's because culturally it's like, well, you need to get married, you don't date, you don't do all these things.
But as of late, no. Like I attended 7 weddings last year and they were all in their 30s.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's
early 30s.
Late.
Yeah.
I think it's better though.
No, I think it's way better.
Yes. People I think it's married at 23, 24.
No, it's way
now they're
better.
just like in such a weird place because they've grown and changed so much throughout those years and they couldn't keep up with each other.
I'm so happy that I didn't find somebody earlier because I'm with you. I would want to get married in my 30s. I'm not trying to get married earlier than that.
Yeah, I know for myself. I mean, I don't even know if I'm like ready now. Because I've always thought I was ready, and then you start going to therapy, and you're like, "Oh,
I have a lot of things to fix.
I have a lot of things to work on." And I am thankful for myself, for my own journey, that I did not get married in my 20s. I know I have friends that have, and they have just been
successful.
Both
ways.
Yeah, exactly. Like our friend Anna, like got married very young, but her and her husband were just like so on the right page, and like. Just, I mean, but very smart people, very mature. They both knew what they want. Like, but again, it depends on the people that are doing it. And they were in it for the right reasons. Like, and they're two amazing people and I love them together. So I think it really just depends.
Yeah.
But,
I think that's another exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be because
they got married pretty young. I think they're more of an exception.
Yeah, and they're incredible. I mean,
I mean, they went to law school together.
The smartest, most driven people.
They made it work.
They made it work, and they're incredible and they're amazing. And I've been around them enough. I really do like love their relationship and the way they operate with one another. Very healthy. But again, they might be the exception.
No, they are the exception because
because
I can't talk about anyone else.
Friends
that got married young.
All my friends minus one that got married young or divorced.
Or divorced. Yeah. And it's just kind of like again. Because like I always say, every year in your 20s is like 5-10 years. And you thought that you were ready. Like I speak for myself. I thought that I would be totally ready. I thought at 25, I was like, how come this isn't happening? And here I am 37 and I'm like, ooh, getting on a dating app. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think I'm ready now for the right person. But I'm not in a rush.
Right.
It's not like, oh my God, my time is clicking. It's like the right guy comes around, I'm ready, but I'm also not like desperate.
No, that makes sense. No.
You can't be. Because when you get to that level of desperation that these men are at, who are like, I'm ready to settle on tomorrow because you tick all my boxes. And it's like not even date 3 yet. You know, you kind of end up blowing everything up yourself because you're just like forcing it at that point.
Yeah. No, and I'm also someone that like, we talk about this where it's like, if it doesn't happen,
organically,
I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. I'm not someone who's like, my life is over if I don't get married. Like, yeah, will it suck a bit? Sure. But it's fine. Like, I'm not so dependent on someone where that I'm going to take that sacrifice and like sacrifice my wants, my needs and connection just to be married.
Right.
I'd rather be alone.
Because marriage is so much more than just a piece of paper.
Or having the fat party.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't think of it that way. And that's why even in our culture, the divorce rate is so high right now.
Yeah.
Everywhere across the board,
in the United States, 50%. And
which is wild.
Yes.
Because 50-50 is a large, like, that's too much.
That's
like
right.
I mean,
it's true. Marriage is, obviously I've never been raised to take with a grain of salt, but my perspective is marriage is a choice every single day. Like it truly is. Like it's a choice to be communicative, selfless, have those talks and those moments and include the person. I mean, it's to love, and to operate a certain way. Yeah, everyone, it's. I think it's looked at so carelessly. Yeah.
I think also what it is, it's just like, every day, obviously you're making that choice. It's like it has to become part of your job, part of your personality.
Yeah.
To like nurture that relationship, not make each other's lives harder, but to make them easier and come together weekly, bi-weekly. Hey, are you happy? Is there anything I can do to like, make our relationship better and vice versa? And a lot of people don't understand that because they just get lost in these
comfortable.
External.
They don't put in the
noise.
work. I think that putting the work is a big one. People get too comfortable too quickly.
Yes.
And don't put the effort in the work, and then the relationship dwindles down, and then
they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Or they rush into something like you said, and a lot of times they don't know each other. You haven't really gone. I mean, hell, build a piece of IKEA furniture together, and see how that ends. Truly, that is. I feel like build a bookcase from IKEA. That's a little roadmap for your marriage.
Yeah, we'll see
did you guys get divorced, or did you bust up the bookcase? Was it bumpy, but you made it through? I mean, this is really like how this is going to be. But it's true. Like you have to go through things and get to know one another, and how we were talking about earlier, intimacy, because you end up like these guys who are like, oh, you tick off all my boxes, and it's like that's great that I look great on paper. It's kind of like when you like interview someone for a job, and it's like, sure, they have all the qualifications, but then you got to talk about like, are they a culture fit? Are they a values fit? Like, do they fit the company culture and who we are, like the essence of who we are?
And they actually perform the duties.
Yeah, they can they can like type, they can do all this, so it's the same thing. Sure, I'm pretty, I'm this, I come from a good family, I have ethics or whatever,
basics,
but how do I communicate? What, you truly don't know me. You don't know
anything else.
And then we get into a marriage, shit hits the fan, and everyone's first response is, well, divorce, I guess.
Well, that's the thing.
You know what it's also comes down to? Well, if I leave the situation, that's the easier route for me to take.
That's what I was just going to say. I was just going to say, it's easier to leave.
Same way I found her on an app. The next girl is going to be just as easy to pick up.
Yeah.
It's becoming that.
It's 100%. The app culture has made everybody disposable, which we have said many times. But that's the thing. That's why nobody wants to put in work, because just like you said, it's so easy to find somebody else.
She makes my life so hard, or he makes my life so hard.
I'm not going to try to fix it. I'm not going to put in work. I don't want to. Why would I do that? Easier way out is to leave.
Yeah, exactly. Easiest way out is to just, here's the exit. I'm gone. Especially if there's no children involved. It's like, bing, bing, boom. As quickly as we got married, we're done. It's so easy.
It's sad.
Yeah, no, it is sad. But that's the hard. That sucks. It sucks for people like us when we want that connection. And no, I'm not going to run at the first sign of trouble. We're going to work through this, and we're going to, and we're going to live selflessly, and we're going to love selflessly. And I think that's part of being selfish, and that lack of maturity is you just want to run because it's about you. It's whatever makes you feel makes you feel comfortable, right? But it sucks for people like us who don't want that, and this is all that we're meeting.
Also what it is like men are just like taught all their lives that they're not allowed to be emotional.
Yeah,
they can't cry, they can't this, they can't express themselves. So if you're a man that can't express themselves, your wife doesn't know anything about what's going on in that head, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tough in itself. And then, like, women usually, when we go through something bad, a breakup or whatever it is, we tend to do the whole journey of looking inside and healing
Taking
and
our
just
time.
really getting to know who we are, how we respond to things, and how we're going to make our lives better or live a better life, be a better person.
Right.
Men don't tend to, a lot of them have too much ego to go and do that for themselves. You know, they're kind of just like, well, she fucked it up. It wasn't me. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm still going to live my life.
Yeah.
And then they go and do the same stuff in their next relationship.
Right.
It's just a matter of how that person responds to it. So, I don't know. I just feel like it should be normalized more for men to be able to like go and take that step.
Sure.
Whether
I
it's
think
therapy,
but I do
podcasts.
think it's changing a bit because I do see guys advocating for that, and I think people are trying to change that narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time, but
No, that's
I
like
think,
one of the first questions I'll ask somebody.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you know, when you start talking about like your past relationships or like what went on and whatever, I always want to know what that man did to recover from his last situation. What makes you think you're ready to date again?
Yeah.
What makes you think you're so ready to get married tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these are like the hard questions that like I feel like I need to ask now.
No,
it's true.
It absolutely is. Like, honestly, it should start being a part of the conversation of, so like, tell me like what internal work like you've done, you know? And of course, like that may sound like very like interviewee or whatever. Like, don't ask it on the first day. We're not saying like, you know, my favorite color is purple. Tell me about your childhood trauma and how you've recovered from that and how you are not going to bring that into a relationship. Like, you know, obviously not. But it should be a question. It should be a topic in whichever way you're going to approach it of truly, what have you done? And because if you've had a childhood, you've had trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Just whether it's been big, small, tiny, whatever. If you're alive, you should be in therapy. And yes, it should be a valid question. And I think it's smart for it to be a valid question or a conversation in the beginning because it also gives men that license to say, you are in a safe space where you can talk to me about your internal work, your feelings, your emotions. And you are not going to be judged. You're not going to be ridiculed. You're not going to be made fun of. Like, I'm genuinely asking because I genuinely care. And I think that's another hard part for men why they don't share that because they don't want to be ridiculed. They don't want to be made fun of. Or if they did it one time, I remember I listened to a podcast about this. They did it one time, they're done. They did it one time and a girl made fun of them, they're done. They will never do it again. Ever. It's like us. If we wear something one time and someone makes one joke, that's it.
Yeah.
It's in the trash.
It's
I'm
so
done.
true.
I will never wear it again.
It's so
ever.
true.
And then on the flip side, and I was telling Sana this about a week ago or something, it's like, you know, when you do start having those hard conversations, and then there's some guys who are just very defensive about it, and it's like, why? And then you kind of just take a step back and you're like, you know, I do want to take things slow. And then they'll blow up and start, you know, throwing all the stuff that you trusted them with in your face. You're this, you're that.
Oh, no wonder why this.
Let me try to point out all her insecurities that aren't actually her insecurities because I don't know her enough to know her insecurities.
We've already talked. Guys do that though.
Yeah.
Guys attack.
They immediately
turn it around.
Remember we talked about it's not the argument. It's what is it called?
It's they start attacking you
the
personally,
bruised
which is
ego.
it's the ad hominem attack.
Yeah.
It's they turn it around. You're not attacking my argument. You're not attacking what I'm saying. You start attacking the person.
Yeah.
You start attacking me, and it's a defense mechanism.
What
it's
is
classic
that?
defense.
It's so
Guys do it a
immature.
lot.
Yeah.
It's the ego thing.
Yeah, it is. It's driven by pride and ego because you've struck a nerve.
Yeah.
Don't give me that much power, please.
Yeah, like you challenge them in a way that they do not want to be challenged. And they're like, absolutely not.
They're like, oh, you're going to reject me?
Yeah.
Not on my watch.
Yeah, not on my watch.
I'm going to make you feel ugly.
Yeah, it's the whole...
I'm going to make sure that you think you can never
that happened to you. The guy that DM'd
ugly.
you said you weren't interested, and he was like, well, I wasn't even interested.
Yeah. And you're like, I wasn't.
Because you were so boring.
Yeah, he started offending. He started insulting you afterwards. It's like, because I said no to you?
Yes. Well,
because you saw me running out of the spot.
Like
without like stopping to say bye to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Same thing. He's like, I was really interested, and she said no, and she's like, well, I wasn't interested anyways. It's
He's like, I left Jessica. Yeah. Comes drop you to like the door. And I'm like, sorry, I did not ask for that. I ran past you and Jessica.
If I'm not saying bye to you, it's because I don't want to say bye to you.
Well, also, again, I met you an hour before. Like,
exactly.
And he was creepy.
Oh, gosh.
He was creepy. Well, to wrap this up, what's better, New York or LA dating overall?
New York, baby.
Oh, she's going back. Because I slightly convinced her to stay in LA.
She did. She was one of the factors.
Yeah.
She was very sweet about it. She was like, listen, you could stay at my house if you want. I'm like, that's so nice.
I was like, you're out here, have the experience.
Yeah, help me carry
now
my
TV. She's like, after this lease is done, I'm going back. I'm like,
yeah.
LA, you guys did her wrong. This time.
We were supposed to keep her.
No.
And you let her go, boys. We're going to do
this again, Miami version.
Okay. You can do that.
We could do that.
See what's popping.
Yeah,
all right, so New York's better. Ladies listening, change
yourself a hybrid. Like me.
That lived in both?
That bi-coastal baby.
Maybe like born in LA, but now lives in New York.
Or born in New York and now lives here.
In LA.
All right. Well, you know what to change your Hinge location
Hinge profile.
to?
Drop that pin.
Yeah. Drop that pin in the East Coast.
In the East Coast.
That's what I did. I dropped my pin in LA. The rest is history. Now I live here.
Oh, you never know. That's the exception, not the rule. But
I mean, I tried to pin hop, and just in San Diego, I was pin hopping. Some guys like, too far. I'm like, we're an hour and a half away, too far.
Like,
there you go. But in New York, you'll have a guy from Maryland getting on that bus or that that train.
Good
or
point.
In his car and pulling up to New York.
There was one guy in particular that he was like, I want to meet you, but I'm like,
okay. That's enough for me.
They'll do that 4-hour drive, no problem.
Wow.
Yeah, they're lazy out here.
I need to move.
They're lethargic.
I think that's it. You know what? Donna, maybe we just go with her. When your lease is up, you tell us.
Let's go,
girls. We're going to Miami?
Either Miami or we're going to New York.
We're going to start in New York, and then we'll work
start
our
in New
way
York.
down
Let's just
to
go
Miami.
move to Manhattan. We'll try it for a year.
I tried to convince her.
I know. My sister's always telling me, she's like, you need to move here.
Yeah, what am I going to do in New York?
Listen, go get your license in New York. Can't be that hard.
I don't know the market.
It's fine.
You'll learn it.
You learned LA.
You're going to learn the dating market, too.
I'll learn the dating market.
Yeah. My sister's always telling me. My sister lives in Long Island. And she's like, you need to move.
If we open Legree in New York, I'd go.
Yeah. Well, here I'm coming with. So
Legree is your deciding factor. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's see.
There's your territory. Real estate. Let's go.
Well, thank you so much for being on.
Yes,
even though I thought you already. Another reason, let me defend myself more, is because we've already met, and every single time we do have someone that's Sana's friend, I've never met them before.
There was only one person you've never met before.
Okay, listen. You know what? I'm trying to defend myself.
Leave me alone.
I'm trying to do something.
There was one
You're supposed
person
to be my friend here. Wow. Anyway, I'm sorry you had to see that, every listener.
What happens behind the scenes?
That's really embarrassing.
Maybe we need dinner. Maybe we're just hungry.
We're gonna go get
hangry
dinner.
girls.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. All 5 of you.
All 5 of you. This was an entertaining one, so I hope you guys had fun. It was a good one.
Yes, I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks, gang, for listening in. Please remember to leave us a comment, subscribe. Yeah. Leave us a review. We only want the good. So if it's bad, we don't care.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah, we also want to know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree?
Yeah, we want to hear the thoughts. Share it.
Yes, if you've dated bi-coastal, let us know.
Yeah, where do you think the best guys are?
Yeah.
Who's taking that flight for you? Who's flown
you
out?
Des Moines, Iowa. Texas. Anyway, all right. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you
have a great week and 4th. We'll be after 4th.
Well,
we hope you enjoyed your 4th.
Yes, hope you enjoyed your 4th. But anyway, thanks y'all. We'll catch you next week. Bye.